Very good evening to you and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Damien Best. Well, defending champions Barbados rebounded from their loss to Trinidad and Tobago in round 1 to trounce the Windward Islands under-15s by 7 wickets at Chetwynd Park today in the regional under-15 cricket tournament. Now, batting first, the Windwards were restricted to 117 of 43.4 overs, with Vanier leading on 26 and Davis adding 21. Tariq O'Neill, he took 3 for 10 for the young Bajans. In reply, Barbados under-15s reached the target on 121 for 3 of 30 overs. Michael Simmons, he led with an unbeaten 37, and captain Neymar Bolden assisted with 36. Barbados will play host Jamaica on Saturday in round 3. Well, Jason Mohammed will lead the West Indies T20 side in the absence of Carlos Brathwaite, who has opted out of the tour of Pakistan for security reasons. Along with a few other players, the squad includes Jamaican batsman Andrew McCarthy and his Jamaica Scorpions teammate fast bowler Odean Smith. The squad then reads Jason Mohammed, skipper, Samuel Badri, Riyad Emirates, Andre Fletcher, Andrew McCarthy, Kimo Paul, Versami Purmal, Rovman Powell, Dennis Ramden, Marlon Samuels, Odean Smith, Chadwick Walton and Keswick Williams. Well, the T20s will be played on April 1st, 2nd and 3rd in Karachi. Well, Australia's head coach Darren Lehmann says he will quit at the end of the current Test series against South Africa. Lehmann, who was cleared by Cricket Australia of any wrongdoing regarding the ball tampering scandal, had indicated just yesterday he would not resign. But following former Australian captain Steve Smith's media conference today, he said he's ultimately responsible for the culture of the team and it's only fair for him to step down. Well, they are all good signs for the Barbados junior track and field team as they gear up for the Carifta Games this weekend in the Bahamas. 26 athletes departed the island today, with some of them competing as early as tomorrow morning. Well, speaking to CBC Sports, coach Alwyn Babb said there were some challenges in preparing for the meet, but the team is in tip-top shape.
We had a week and a half to prepare the team, and the concern was the recovery, mainly the recovery from the workload at Cbc Sports. I believe that after yesterday's session, I think that the individual coaches of all the athletes did an excellent job in ensuring that they return to a full level of fitness. And at this time, I think that the Barbados team is one of the fittest that we have had in a long time, and in respect of persons coming out from Cbc Sports with little or no injuries.
Well, a number of athletes will be moving into different divisions, but Babb says this is part of their development. He, however, believes the squad is good enough to put out good performances and bring home an admirable medal count.
Going into a new division is all poses some challenge in terms of the performances and the development of all the athletes. But I think those persons returning to the team have proven themselves, and the performance says that they can be very competitive even if they go into a higher division. We still have some boys repeating on the 17, originally on the 18 category, like Kyle Gale, and he won a medal last year, and I believe that he's on the 17 again, and he's running even better than last year. So he's some person to look out for. We have Jonathan Jones, who's repeating as well. We have Shanice Watson, who was given the exposure last year and has turned in some good performances, especially in the discus of 40-plus meters. So we are expecting some good performances from those persons who are returning but going into new divisions.
Well, there was also concern about the lack of qualifiers in the girls' divisions on the team, and Babb says it's a challenge that needs to be looked at. He believes mentoring of female athletes could be one to help rectify the situation. Meanwhile, the Barbados Carifta swim team completed their final training session at the Aquatic Center in Willie yesterday. CBC's Kamal Haynes was there.
The 25-member squad set to compete in the 4-day championship, which runs from March 31st to April 3rd, has already started their departure to Jamaica. The final members of the squad will meet up with their teammates when they leave the island on Sunday. The open water team manager Samantha Clark says she believes Barbados will have a good showing.
The pool swimming will start on the 31st and which is Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. It'll be 2 sessions per day, prelims and finals. and we have a good team. I think we are going to have a very good showing. We have a strong team. To get on the Carifta team, you have to make a qualifying time that ranks the 6th place in the Cariftas that have gone in the past 4 years, and it's the top 6th place time in all the Cariftas. So for you to make the team, you have to be at that level. So yes, I would say that what we have going there is very good because of those difficult qualifying times. And the newcomers to the age group, they're going to get their feet wet and they're going to do well as well too.
2017 Carifta medalist Louis Sebastian Weeks will be competing in the 15 to 17 age group for the final year, and says he expects to post some good times.
I expect to get all best times, which is expected as usual. I expect the team to come together and work with each other to get the best outcome as possible. I have a lot of knowledge on my competitors. I've known them since I was about 7 to 10 years old. I wouldn't say I'm scared of them per se, but definitely excited for the challenge of competing with them.
The duo of Ashley Weeks and Eric Lashley will be competing in the open water 14 to 15 age group. Weeks, who represented Barbados in the triathlon previously, says it will be her first time competing at this level in the open water competition, while Lashley, a bronze medalist last year, will be aiming to do better this time around.
Open water is fun for me. Like, I don't really focus on one thing. Like, triathlon is a fun sport, and we don't really get the chance to swim open water in the sea. We swim here at the aquatic center. So I have done a few open water competitions in the sea, so it should be fun.
This is my 2nd year representing Barbados in the Carifta and open water. I've also done Carifta triathlon and aquathlon, and I've gone in the pool once before and I medaled as well. And last year I was bronze medalist in the open water, so I hope to do well again.
Here's wishing all the best to the entire Barbados team. Kamal Haynes, CBC Sports.
Welcome back to Sports Night, where Barbadian surfer Josh Burke led the local charge as the QS 3000 Pro Surfing event continued at Drill Hall Beach today. Surfing in the day's first heat, Burke produced the best wave total, an 8.87, and came out on top with a heat total of 13.87 to book a place in tomorrow's 4th round. It was not so easy for the other Bajans left in the competition. Dane Mackey was bottom of his heat with an 8.94 heat total, while Shea Allen suffered the same fate with an 8.63. Here's CBC's Anne-Marie Burke with a look at some of the other heats.
It was another day of good waves, and the surfers were turning in decent scores, like this 8-point performance from the USA's Jake Marshall. He was really milking the wave for all it's worth and was able to conquer his heat, posting a total of 14.33. Also advancing to round 4 was Hiroto Arai of Japan, going up on the lip 3 times to finish off strong. His best wave was a 7, his heat total a 12.17. Heat 5 was dominated by the USA's Nat Young. Here up onto the upper face of this wave, some nice maneuvers, a 7.5 ride that added to his total of 12.73. He's into round 4. Joining him is Thomas King. The Costa Rican didn't have big wave totals but held his own to put in decent rides, gaining an 11.26 heat total. He's a former World Championship surfer. The waves weren't as forthcoming in the 6th heat, but catching a good enough one was Evan Gelsman. Accustomed to the Florida waves, he was able to make a ride of this one, a 4.83 his best total, and with a 9.33 heat total will also feature in round 4. And surfing away with heat 6 was Benji Brand, the Hawaiian, floating the first section of the wave, and then he gets out the back but had a best heat total of 10.03. Another American conquered the Bajan waves en route to a place in round 4. Chauncey Robinson, surfing really good yesterday, continued in that vein. He sends it vertical, working out onto the upper face, it was a strong showing, an overall 11.26. And with a best wave of a 6.77, Ramzi Bukhayam of Morocco, setting up a couple of cutbacks, working out onto the open face, a nice re-entry and a strong finish, an overall 10.94. He'll also surf again. The action continues tomorrow. Anne-Marie Burke, Cbc Sports.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Well, there were several competitive matches when the 2018 Get Your Feet Wet Barbados Taekwondo Association tournament took to the Pax Hill Girl Guides headquarters recently. CBC's Melissa Farley looked in on some of the activities.
The infants' coloured belts kicked into high gear, and it was perhaps one of the most entertaining clashes in the tournament. It was between Zahari Hines in the red and Tatiana Grandinson. Zahari took round 1 10-6, giving Tatiana limited room to make moves. She did get in a few, but Zahari maintained the upper hand to take round 2 6-2 and an overall total of 16-8. Zahari went on to face Jeremiah Simpson, losing 17-12 in the final. Now this was a clash in the Cadets Advanced Division. Liana Best-Smith in the red up against Alicia Green. Liana had already had round 1 under her belt at 8-5, but Alicia fought back in the second round, so much so that Liana took a blow that resulted in an injury, but her performance was enough for a final total of 16-8, advancing to the final to face Jaden Green, who had defeated Kai Laurie 35-30. But when the clash came, Jaden won by default when Liana forfeited due to her injury. On to the men's advance, the big Darren Carter facing Nilon Light. A tight contest this one was, Light keeping the gap slim, even though Carter was the dominant one, taking round 1 by 3, 17-14. Round 2 was the same, both very competitive, as this was a direct final. Light kept consistent in challenging Carter, who also kept his head high to take the gold when he held on 9-8 for a victorious total of 25-23. Melissa Farley, CBC Sports.
Welcome back to Sports Night. One day earlier, but not short of action. It's time for Sports Night's top 5 plays of the week.
Getting the ball rolling at number 5 this week, schools under 16 football final. The Frederick Smith custodian goes the right way to keep them in the game against Alexandra. However, Alexandra still took the game 2-0.
And this looked like a scene from Hollywood. Player goes down in the box. Referee says that's a penalty. Well, the goalkeeper didn't have to do much in this scenario. Frederick Smith still in with a chance.
At number 4, schoolgirl basketball. Dom Clark with the fancy moves to get her way to the basket against Queen's College.
Foundation kept the pressure on as the baskets kept coming. Dom Clark displaying some skills, executing the Euro step and adding 2 more to the scoreboard for the home side.
At number 3, more basketball, BABA Premier League action. Stefan Otley of Station Hill Cavaliers goes to work against Warren Sports Club.
The Cavs virtually dominated the entire game, leading at the end of each quarter. Stephen Otley, going solo, executes the Euro step.